Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and a new video on the BMW 125i. So we bought this one from an auction and it turned out to be a little bit of a lemon. But when you get given a lemon, of course you've got to carry on and just try and make lemonade out of it. In the pictures, it didn't actually show the steering wheel, so I didn't know the airbag had gone. And then once we did get it back, we could see that the lid has actually been glued shut. In the last video, I went off and got a lot of parts for it, and we have got, I think, all of the parts to repair this one. It is quite an old car now, and they are very, very reasonable on the parts. Got a dashboard there, and I'm going to concentrate getting that done. It shouldn't take very long. Looks very, very simple compared to some of the others that I've done. Also, I've got that window put in there, started putting the door panel back on, and I've just got a trim clip remover this morning and just pulled a few bits out to have a look at what we've got to remove. Let's get straight on with it. Straight into it here. It is just looks like a load of T25s holding this on. So trim clip remover, remove that trim off the dash there, and then it exposes all of your screws up the top. Of course, you've got some holding that glove box in. Get the glove box removed, the cowling removed there, and the clocks, and then all of your radio and everything removed with a trim clip remover, exposing all of the screws. The little screen was a little bit more awkward. You've got two screws there behind the heater vents, then you tilt the screen up, you've got two underneath that, and then out that screen comes one plug and one little electrical connection, and it looks like that dash is pretty much ready to come out. Out we go. So Tyler did say these are not that bad to do, Rob, and I genuinely have never done one, and that really wasn't that bad to do. In fact, probably one of the easier ones to do. It is just a few bolts. There's not like hundreds of bolts, there is just a few. This little bit here did catch me out last minute because it actually bolts in there, and if you see those two little kind of hooks on there, I've unbolted it from both ends and then you just drop it out and it's fine. But that was actually hooked into those, and it was actually holding that dash in there. There's the new one. I've given it a clean. I'm going to whip out, get us a coffee, and then I'm going to move straight on with it. While it's fresh on your memory, chuck it straight in there. And I think you'd agree on that bit of time lapse. It's literally, I've been on this an hour and we're at this stage. So let's get that new one straight back in there. So in with the new one, so I think, and it is here I noticed something doesn't look quite right. So I guess we're going to have to stop there and have a proper look at it and make sure we got the right dash. So it turns out I actually made a bit of a boo-boo, and I say I made a boo-boo, I think that could have happened to anybody, couldn't it?
Well, so a subtle difference.
Such a subtle difference. So I got to this stage, and luckily, yes, last night Chris managed to plug the ignition in, the key reader, get the windows done up and bring this in the workshop. Now you can see I've really stripped this dash, and although that other dash was the same to a degree, that hole there, I'll get you to point that out.
Yeah, for this
for the radio.
Picture.
So the radio's basically a doubled in unit to run that sat nav, and that other dashboard is slightly different here and can't get it. And the problem I'm up against now is this car's so old, no one's actually got the parts for it. So I've just managed to find the correct dashboard for it. Unfortunately, it is in Heathrow. I'm going to jump in the van and go and get the dash. I mean, it's even cheap. It's 100 quid for a dash, which is unbelievable. Chris is going to actually make a start on that door, the wing, and the repairs on there. So I'll leave you in Chris's capable hands. So while I'm out getting the correct dash, Chris is making light work of getting that door removed. You've got two bolts, check strap, one wiring harness, straight onto the side skirt, exposing all of those 10 mils to remove that damaged wing, straight onto the front bumper. Once he's got that off, I think that is all the damaged parts removed. That's the right one this time. Definitely. I pulled the old one just to make sure, and you can see I actually stripped that one off. I was going to try and swap the tops over, but that was definitely a no-no. Now let's get back to the yard and fit this one. He did crack on while I was out there. I am going to jump. I'm not going to get in your way, Chris, if I jump in here and chuck that dash
No, you
back
carry
in.
on because I've got another job on the go now.
Right, okay. I am going to concentrate on getting that on. But there's no damage behind the sill cover, which
No,
is
nice.
lovely.
Yeah.
Literally nothing, just a little bit of rub off of that wheel where it had previously touched it, and you can see there's no damage there. Door removed, just a little repair to do on that bonnet, and I think I've got all those parts. They're here. They're in the container. Is that side skirt going to be okay?
Bit of damage on the end. It depends how much a replacement is, I guess.
Yeah, because I haven't got one for it, but there is a front half of a wheel arch line.
Or we're going to have to repair it,
Yeah, or back half. Right, I'm going to crack on then and get this dashboard put back in. Why it's sort of fresh in my memory. So now we've got the correct dash, straight in with the dash, and of course it is a reverse process. You've got all of those little torques, do those up. If you've noticed, I haven't even had to take the steering wheel off to remove this dashboard, but yeah, do all the torques up, the exact reverse of taking it all apart. Well, it turned out it was actually easy once I had the correct parts here. I've not put the cowling and stuff back on yet, but you see the screen all pops up, everything's all working, all of the, let's actually turn the ignition on, Rob. That's it, ignition on. All of the heaters you can see are working, all of the radio, everything is all back to normal in here. And the steering wheel airbag in there as well. It was easy once I had the correct parts. We are going to crack on with this, but so nice to see that there's not actually any extra damage or nothing behind the door. There's no damage there. Chris is already cleaning up the front replacement wing that I got from Bridgend Recycling. Unfortunately, it's a black one, nice and straight. Or
yeah, it looks good, mate.
No filler work or nothing required.
A little bit there in paint, I think, there.
Right. Chris will get
there.
Is there? Chris will get that prepped up. It is in black, so it's going to be painted anyway. But we do plan on edging up the back edge of it and actually trying to get that fitted to the car. 2010, yeah, it's the same, and it's all the same.
Yep.
Also, the door, we've got a replacement out there in a container, and I believe the door is in colour, so shouldn't need to edge any of that up. Anyway, no waffle today, plenty to get on with. We need to get this done and get it put back together and get the bits done on it, so let's crack on. So hard prepping the wing here, Chris. He's found a couple of little marks on it he wants to get out, and of course I've got that can of base coat so that he can actually edge up this wing and we can fit it, and it doesn't need to come back off the car. It can be painted on the car, and of course the door's going to need painting, as is the quarter to blend anyway. There's the wing all edged up in the paint booth, just drying off. So while that is drying off, Chris will crack on with the repair work on the bonnet. I'm going to try and stay out of his way. I'm going to do that other pre-tensioner for the seatbelt, get this plugged in and start seeing if we can find it, clear some of the codes down on it, because there is a lot. Nice easy repair, mate? Or
Yeah. Bit better than that. Do you remember that Volvo bonnet?
Oh, Chris, that was brilliant though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
350 quid for a damaged...
I'd pay the 350 next time, out my own pocket, without a shadow.
Mate, you've done it, didn't you?
Yeah.
We're going to leave you to that. Chris does set his little camera up here. He actually records everything. Sometimes it comes out, sometimes it don't. On this particular car, I'm going to say it, because it is dark, it don't always look fantastic, but you're going to get...
But it has rolled that edge under there,
Yeah,
so
it has, yeah.
I'm going to get on there. And we meant to say it a few times, people can slow the time lapse down, can't they?
The three little dots in
Yeah.
the top right corner while you're watching this video. If you click on that, you can slow it down.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me of that, mate.
All right, mate.
Right, I'll leave you to do that. I'm going to get this other seatbelt swapped out. But so far, so good. This is going along pretty well.
Yep.
Let's do it. Important bit on the earlier cars I haven't actually shown. So good opportunity to get all that glass and have a good vacuum out underneath there. And that is the little seatbelt pre-tensioners on this one. Are actually these guys. And you can see it's just got one T50 holding it. I've already undone it, so we took the bolt out. I've got some sheet underneath on the seat here, and then you lift it out. It's got a couple of little trims, a couple of little clips just holding the wiring loom in there. It all unpicks, but the actual wires for this are actually located inside the plug itself, so you have to cut that cable tie off. You can see the two grey plugs in there, and that's actually those plugs. And all you need to do, Let me see if I can do it whilst we're filming. Let's get that one out there. It is quite tricky because you need to, if it makes sense, let me know in the comments if this makes sense to you. You need to pull a bit of weight on it whilst you're unclipping it. Right, there we go. And we managed to do it. So, with that one out, now we'll just rest that one in there for a minute. Not going to actually bolt it up, but get that straight back in there. And that is it, all back together. Put your little clips back in, exactly where they come apart. And then that hooks in there. And get your T50 done back up. And job's a good one. But you can see, obviously, that one now, it's all pulled itself back once it's gone off. I probably should have showed right at the end of it. I've got another one here. You can see how far back that is in there. And then the one that's gone off, you can see how far forward it's fired this way, where it's actually crimpled all that up. Anyway, that is how you change that. So a nice little repair on the bonnet here. Chris makes light work of it. It was very, very minimal damage, but some people would actually take that off, throw it away, an insurance company would, and go and buy a new one. But you can see once he's beat that straight, it has the tiniest little skim of filler in there. And once he actually rubs it down, you can see it actually almost goes transparent, where there's just not a lot on there at all. I love projects like this. I'm sure Chris does as well, where we can both do our own thing on it. So while Chris is out here doing the bodywork, I'm inside getting it all completed in there. Now, all of the airbags have been replaced. I don't know if those rear restraints went off. I have no idea. It doesn't look like they did unless they have been pushed back. And this car was a private entry that had been doctored up. So there is a good chance that they have been pushed back. Got the new door in here. Luckily, it is the same colour. I'm going to start building up some of that and stripping off that door. I can't do two. What we're actually going to do is stick the door on there, on the car, to completely finish it. But I don't want to put the door on all the time Chris is there, working, trying with that wing. And of course, he's got that little bit of body work there to do on the bonnet. But save that bonnet, mate, and one little skim. That's not even going to need another bit in it, is it? It's
Hopefully not, mate.
the majority of it come out.
Should be all right.
So going inside, I've turned the ignition on. We've not done a thing to this car yet. We don't want to update that at the moment. Let's do a quick code diagnostic scan on it because it's got ABS, it's got a run flat light, it's got airbag lights. Let's go through, have a look what it's got, clear them down and see what comes back. Right, just quickly before anyone asks, this is an MK808 BT Pro Autel. This is our most recent one. So you just go to auto selection, VIN number, read, so it'll read it on its own, save you inputting it manually. This doesn't work on every vehicle, but it does work on a fair few of them. So there's the VIN number, you OK that. It says what the car is, yes, OK that. Just as expected, it's like a Christmas tree after doing just a quick scan. Look how many faults it's got. Let's start at the bottom. Central information display, footwell module 11, parking distance control 4, anti-theft alarm 1, telematrix control 1, convertible top soft top module 2, junction box electronics 1, car accessory system 4, instrument cluster 1, airbag advanced crash safety module 8, dynamic stability 5, electronic transmission management 2, and then engine digital control module. Quick erase. My most favourite button on this machine, but it had a flat battery when we got it. It was meant to be a runner, it was a non-runner. Nothing was quite as it seemed on this car, Chris. I think you'd agree.
Definitely wasn't, mate.
Sorry, do you know what I've done there? I've started filming this, left your mic on, you're putting all your tools away.
I am,
That's
I'll turn it off.
No, mate, it's the real world.
I'll put it there.
All right, let's see how we get on with this. Right, how many of them have come back? a lot. Engine motor electronics, transmission management, stability control, airbag. That's a bit of a worry. The airbag lights come back on. I'm going to look into these and then I will tell you guys what we come up with. Advanced crash safety module, ACSM, right front door airbag sensor. Well, that makes sense, mate, because the door's not on it.
That's what that is. Yeah, that is exactly.
Let's get that door built up. So just going, that's the end of the diagnostics, but just going through the floor module. It says on there, floor module in the car. And once you click into it and read the 2 codes, it actually says that it can't communicate with the driver's side door mirror. And as you can see, there is no driver's side door on this car. Let's get that door all built up, the old one into the new one, and let Chris crack on with the filler work. That's the repairs all done and the bonnet all primed. We can't touch that now for a little while. That does need to dry. There's the original door all stripped out. There is the new door all built up. It is the same colour, so there's no edging up to do, but there is quite a lot of scratches on the face of it. So once we do get that hung on, there, I can show you how bad the scratches are. But of course, we're going to be getting the front bumper, the bonnet, and right down this side painted anyway. But we have got another project out there on the back of the truck, and me and Chris want to actually go and have a look because it's been out there a couple of days and we still haven't had a look at it, have we? And it's a beautiful car. It is. Let's go and have a look. A lot of money, yeah, let's go and have a look. So this was a little bit awkward getting this wing on, but we got there with it in the end. So you got the wing on, all of the 10 mils all the way along the edge. As soon as we got that on, we moved straight on to the door, and that is reverse process. You got 2 bolts, 1 check strap, 1 wiring harness, and that is the door back on. I've already built it all up on that trestle. You can see the glasses in, the mirrors on, and I've put all of it back together. Starting to look very, very nice now. Headlighting. Let's take a look. What a beautiful, beautiful little car this is turning out to be now. All running beautifully, but it has still got an ABS fault, and it is on that front wheel, even though we've changed it. But to get to this point already, headlight fitted, bonnet repaired, wing all fitted, new door all fitted. But we don't timestamp things. It's Friday afternoon, 4 o'clock, and we've had enough. We're going to call it a day and then pick up on this one on Monday. But I was saying about this door, and it would have only been from storage. You can see where it's been leaning up against other doors there, and of course all of those scratches there. But we're really, really happy with this one. So I've even got the front bumper for it in the container there, and that's in blue as well, but it is in like an estral blue or a light blue. So we'll leave it there and we'll be back on Monday. Getting a bit of different background music in this one because right at the end of the edit I realised I missed this bit of time lapse out. So fresh Monday morning in there with a couple of headlight bulbs, bit of wiring to do there, and straight on with that front bumper. And as soon as that goes on there, look at that car. I wish we got these bits in colour because this one would be almost ready to turn round and go out the door. But unfortunately, like everything, you can't always get everything you want in one place. Checking all the lights there, and they're all perfect. Let's get it out and have a drive up the yard. Mate, what a lovely, lovely little car. I know I'm going to keep going on about it, and not tons and tons of work like in the repair. I know that bumper has got a tiny little mark on it. We noticed when we was putting it on just there. Yeah. So Luke will take care of that. That's where we're going to send this. And then of course a bit of paintwork. There's not loads of work, is it? It's pretty much just that corner. But that's turned out to be a lovely little car, I think. Do you want to run it?
ABS, it's still got that ABS light on.
It's going to want driving though. Look how rusty that brake disc is.
Yeah, or it might need the sensor removing, clean it in the hub and cleaning maybe.
And then put it back on. Do you want to run this up and down the yard?
Can do. Yeah.
Let's do that. Excuse the beeping in the background, we've got Dan.
Ooh, someone's short's been in here.
Mate, you can keep taking the mick out of me. I'd rather be short than follically challenged.
Right, are you going to go up the drive?
Yeah, take it for a run.
Right.
That sounds so nice.
Beautiful that is. I was just thinking there, I might be follically challenged, but I'll retire 2 years earlier than you for all the money I've saved on the barbers. So, you know, it's a win-win, I reckon. No, it sounds lovely, that does, Rob.
It does, yeah.
And,
Just have a little go up and down gently and make sure it changes gear. All right.
Yeah, ABS light hasn't gone out there.
No.
There's also, there's a couple of other, I'm not sure, I'm not familiar with that one. What's that?
Traction
Triangle.
control.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, and that'll be because of the ABS.
It will be, won't it?
And I'll keep going on about it, but it does sound nice. I'm getting deja vu. Have we already done this up and down here in this car?
I'll just wait a minute because Danny's just pulled in the way in the loader.
Am I getting deja vu? Have we already driven up and down the yard in this car?
Might have done when we got it. When I've done the suspension on it,
Yeah,
maybe did we?
maybe,
I don't know. What I do know is the track rod end's still loose. So I've not nipped because it needs adjusting the tracking.
Right, okay.
So even before it goes much further, we probably want to just eyeball that.
Yeah.
And then nip it up.
Right,
I think that's it, isn't it?
Let's get it back in the yard. Get it booked in for some paint.
Yes, mate.
We are proper chuffed with this little car. When we first got it, of course, we bought a lemon, so we thought. But actually, it's actually turning out to be a really nice car. And whoever it was that put it through the auction probably should have just sat it aside and done these bits for it. You see how nice and simple that dashboard was to change. And honestly, I know I've got to be careful about what I say, but any one of you could do that. You genuinely could do that dashboard, and you could do it on your driveway, you could do it outside your house, you could do it anywhere. It was one of the most simplest ones I've done. Anyway, I've got to unload the truck, get this loaded on and go and get this dropped off. It's not going to be long. You're going to see the final video on it. We're going to crunch the numbers and hopefully one of you want to buy it off of us. We've got a few more little bits to do with service and some other bits and pieces. If you did enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up. It's free of charge and we really do appreciate it. If you want to follow myself or Chris on Instagram, it's Salvage Rebuilds for us and Salvage Rebuilds Chris for Chris on his personal one, where he goes off to car shows, car meets, etc, etc. If anyone is around on Friday, I'm going down to that Southend cruise and I'm going to take the Series 1. It's a bit of a reunion. I think it starts at about 6 o'clock. I'm not going to be down there all night. I'm going to try and get down there for about 5:30 and stay for a couple of hours. So hopefully bump into a few of you down there. Anyway, don't forget, like, subscribe and share. And we'll look forward to seeing you all very, very soon in the next one.